Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Hamed Shahbazi. He's the CEO of Well Health Tech. Hamed, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. And Hamed, very excited to learn more about Well Health Tech, dive into your business, learn more about you personally, and some other things that Well Health Tech is doing to distinguish themselves and kind of set themselves apart from the conversation. So let's dig into things and kind of get started. Can you give us some personal background to you and your background with the company as CEO and just kind of a journey to how you got here and to this point?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking. By education, I'm a engineer. I studied civil and structural engineering, but never did any engineering. I was always sort of a tech generalist. I ran a fintech company before, and now I'm tech-enabled healthcare. So I've really always enjoyed to be in environments where I can apply technology and help re-engineer business models and capabilities in order to drive new value and efficiency.
Awesome. Perfect background to get started. Very interesting. And I think that's going to set us up well for the rest of this interview and talking about some finer points. Let's start with Well's business model. And what is the mission of Well specifically? Why is this business so important to you? And what sets it apart from the competition in your head?
Well, Well is really a purpose-driven company. It's all about leveraging technology to help patients and practitioners, empower them to better health. As time goes on, there's going to be natural organic growth in population, and there's going to be a widening of that ratio of number of people to number of doctors. And so the only real way that we can deliver for patients is by empowering them and allowing them to get back into control of their own health. So that's a big overarching vision and theme that we have. Another one is really helping enable and amplifying practitioners themselves. And again, that's another way to meet the growing demand. And so, technology, is going to play a really big role in helping practitioners become, more capable in meeting that demand.
Terrific. Let's help investors understand Well's value from an average retail investor's standpoint. Some may view Well as a telehealth business, but how do you think it should be characterized? And what do you think about Well brings the most value from an investor standpoint?
I think what's really unique about Well is that it is focused on an area where, there's enormous focus, and, healthcare is really the last major sector of the services economy to be digitized and modernized. But it is such a big sector, and it will take years and years and years to get those efficiencies in place. And that's an enormous opportunity when you consider that in Canada alone, that's $250 billion, marketplace. And in the United States, depending on how you size it, it's anywhere from a $3 to $5 trillion marketplace. Now, COVID obviously was a multi-year accelerator. We had years of acceleration occur in a very short period of time. But that's all that's done is it's increased the enthusiasm for digital health. And now a lot more people care about digital health because they saw the importance of digital health at a time we really needed it with all the physical and social distancing requirements.
You recently closed, of course, what you've described as Well's largest acquisition, speaking, of course, to CRH. What does that acquisition mean to Well, but more specifically, investors across the board as well? Let's dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, CRH is a really special company. It was a New York Stock Exchange listed company. It also traded on the senior board here in Canada on the TSX, and had just done an incredible job in their capital allocation program. We used to look at CRH as an incredible example of consistency. They have made over 32 acquisitions in the area of anesthesia services. They provide the sedation services for GI or gastroenterology doctors who provide routine colonoscopies. Well looks at CRH not as just an incredibly powerful company as it relates to what it does to our financial profile, but we also get access to a substantial channel of physicians. And our objective is to sell more products and services and help those physicians, which is in line with the rest of our business, as we talked about, empowering physicians.
Well, fantastic. And again, congratulations on all the success. Amazing growth from Well. This is going to build directly on the acquisition of CRH talk that we just kind of had. With all of the acquisitions that Well does, CRH and others considered, investors may wonder how you integrate and structure these new acquisitions into the company. Can you speak to that a little bit and your strategy there?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good question because we're very active acquirers, and we know that we all know when we look at M&A situations, we there's a lot of work to do after a deal is done. This is one of the biggest reasons why our decentralized business unit structure works so well. It's not me that is focused on these integration tasks. It's the management teams of each one of these different business units. And sometimes the acquisition will represent a new business unit. But yeah, I think it's what's really important is that having those P&L focused and operationally focused management teams at that subsidiary level, at that business unit level, executing on this integration work, I think is being really a big part of our story. And this is why we don't do deals unless business unit leaders, corp dev leaders, board, everyone's on the same page and wants to get the deal done.
Outstanding. Regarding to that, getting the deals done and everybody being on the same page, Hamed, let's talk secret sauce of the business. Approaching 300 million in Canadian in revenue, amazing success. What differentiates Well, and what's making you really stand out and stand head and shoulders above the competition?
I think it's discipline. They say in real estate, the three most important things are location, location, location. Well, I think in a corp dev driven business, in any public company, really, whether or not you're growing by M&A or organically, there's some form of investment required. There's some sort of thinking and financial discipline required. And Well is an enormously disciplined company. It's also equally important to make sure that the asset is what we think it is financially, is what it is from a data protection and security perspective, and also from a cultural perspective. We want to make sure that the people coming into the company, the systems that are coming into the company are, culturally aligned with the rest of the business.
Wonderful. Discipline, the key to the success. We love to hear that. Let's tie up all of the loose ends, Hamed, kind of look at the whole thing from a 30,000-foot view, as we do at the end of most of our interviews. Let's talk about the roadmap and the plan ahead for Well. What is next for the company? What do you see long-term and short-term as far as development, new plans, and things on the horizon? What do you see in the future?
I think it's continuing to exercise that discipline clear across the organization as a cultural value in our organic growth plans, in our inorganic growth plans. So I think you're going to continue to see us allocate capital and acquire assets within each one of those business units. And our belief that each one of those business units can by itself be a multi-billion-dollar company. So to continue to nurture and grow those business units, and really just trying to ensure that, again, as a purpose-driven company, that everything that we do, there's some strategic accretion in our capability as a company and our ability to deliver for patients and practitioners. That's really important for us. We want to be more capable every single day, and so we can deliver. I mean, what I love about healthcare and why I'm so grateful to be in this industry is that it's the original impact sector by definition. And this is why I love talking to investors. This is one of the only sectors, if not the only sector, by definition, that you're investing in impact-oriented people that are trying to do something truly valuable to help longevity, help people in often a very vulnerable and scared situation. So when, in terms of, that's when you go to the doctor and need help.
Fantastic. Hamed, we appreciate so much you coming on and doing this interview. Certainly looking forward to continuing to watch the Well story as you continue to move forward, but we so appreciate you coming on, sharing some more about the company, your personal background, and just giving us a glimpse into the future of Well Health Tech. Where can investors go to learn more about Well, social sites and sites to learn more information about you and some of the plans you have upcoming for the future? Where should investors go to look more into that?
Yeah, thanks for asking. They can go to our website, www.well.company, not .com, but .company. It was more cost effective to go in that direction. You can also see us on all the different social channels. We generally have presence there and are quite responsive. So we'd be very pleased to hear from you and look forward to hopefully being lucky enough to have you on board as an investor.
Wonderful. Hamed, we will definitely point people in that direction. Looking forward to speaking with you again soon. And thank you once again for doing this interview. We really appreciate it.
It's been delightful. Thank you for the time and the excellent questions.
Following the interview, we asked Hamed about the recent short report written about Well. He referred us to a recently published video interview where it was discussed in detail, and we're including the link to that interview in the comments below. We'll continue following the Well Health Tech story, look for more about them and their progress in the near future.